Stop being nice at the expense of being real. And for many guys, if you look at the reality that you're in, that is a man-made reality that we always talk about, from safety, from your parents and everything. Most young men have no idea that they're already set up for a downfall because they don't understand when it comes to relationships and it comes to women that they are basically being set up to be a rug where any woman can come along and wipe their feet on them and just keep moving on. And the world wants to tell you that they want you to be polite. They tell you, or they say it's convenience, or they think, or they teach you how to think that being agreeable makes you lovable in the eyes of a woman, and it doesn't. And for many young men out there, I know they have this feeling of being invisible, like nobody listens to them. It feels like nobody cares and nobody wants to try to understand them. And for many guys out there, it's really a tough situation because many guys will sit there and think that it's fine. They will sit around and try to convince themselves something that I'm in this situation. The situation is what it is, but it's fine. I'll handle it. I'll deal with it, or something like that. And the problem is that it is not cool. It's not fine. It's not. Unfortunately for young men out there, every time they bite their tongue, they don't understand that they think they're biting their tongue for peace. That's what the reality tells you. When things don't go your way, look the other way, try to make peace with the woman and things like that, and you don't understand that you are teaching the woman and you're teaching her how to actually train you, and not train you, but how to be around you. When you're always trying to keep the peace, you're teaching her that not only do your thoughts matter, but your feelings don't even matter as well. And you're not being respected at all by the woman. You're actually being used. And it's time for you guys to actually understand that, you know what, being nice and kind and looking for respect is not going to save you at all. It is about being real. At the end of the day, I'm not here to try to make any of you young men feel like you've got to be tough and you got to yell at a woman, you got to scream at a woman, you have to be mean to a woman. That's not what this is all about. This is all about the reality that you're in, and you just don't understand why it is that I'm not getting the women that I want, why it is that I'm always seem to get walked over by women, used and thrown away like a Tampax. And that's what I'm actually here to talk to you guys about. The thing is, with regular guys who don't learn the game, because of the reality, now again, we have to take a moment and actually look at realities, because if you don't understand the reality that you're in right now and understand it is not your reality, it is a man-made reality by your parents, your teachers, and everything around you that you have never created for yourself, you're not going to understand that. You're always going to think that what you're doing is right, but it's actually wrong. It's not who you're supposed to be. It's not who you're supposed to be right now. But a lot of young men feel like this is who I am and this is what I need to be in the construct of everything. And that's not true. Because many of you guys, unfortunately, you crave peace so bad, of safety, meaning that you want to go along to get along. If a woman's not happy, you don't want to stand up for yourself, because you've always been taught that, you know what, look the other way and all this other stuff. But for so many young guys out there, you crave peace so badly that you destroy your own. Okay, you would rather, as a man, you rather risk somebody's disapproval by lying to them. You rather lie to risk somebody's disapproval than say yes and stand on who you are, or say no. If you think about it, when you get around a woman and she says something that you don't like, you agree with it. If she says something ignorant and goofy that's not even funny, you laugh at her jokes. You're always moving along to get along, and that's part of the problem. And this is why the problem persists with a lot of you guys out there, is because you tolerate women who drain you all the time. And You're always telling yourself that it's kindness, but it's not kindness, and it's not you actually being a nice person. At the end of the day, it's actually fear. And a lot of young men have a lot of fears of rejection, fears of being alone and everything. Gentlemen, well, I'll be the first to tell you that's not the problem. And I will always push that to you guys. That's not the problem and the issue. There's nothing wrong with you right now. It's just that you're in the wrong reality, because the reality that you're in is a man-made reality by your parents to create safety. And all your life you've been doing things because you've been training yourself from somebody else's reality, not to stand up for yourself, not to say no, but to always get along. And for many of you guys out there, deep down, as long as you continue to do this, it's going to eat you alive. Being nice sometimes feels safe because, yes, I understand it avoids confrontation. And I understand that you always want to try to keep the peace. But this is where the problem comes in at. As a man, one thought, one mind, one way, we're not doing that. And a lot of you guys out here, you get walked on because you've never ever planted your feet or rooted yourself into the game. You think that by saying yes to a woman and anything that she brings up, unfortunately, you think that is the way to win her over, that's the way to sleep with her, and that's the way to be with her. And that's not true at all. For a lot of you guys out here, you think that what you're saying is going to get her loyalty. But unfortunately, it's not going to get loyalty. What it's going to do, it's going to show her that I'm depending on what you're saying about me. And when you do this with women, it's not to say that women are mean, but as I keep trying to tell you, women can be cruel and women can be mean. They're very cutthroat. And a nice woman that is kind and sweet and understanding and caring, remember, I keep telling you, when the emotions that should be fighting for you, okay, I always try to tell you guys, emotion should be the thing fighting for you. But when emotions and logic have a ceasefire, like I was saying, they are going to go on the attack. And what's going to happen is a woman is going to see you as soft, or a woman is going to see you as someone that is easy to be manipulated. And if you're the guy that they can call upon, knowing that you won't do or say anything, they're going to walk on you, okay? But unfortunately, as long as you see the world the way you see the world, you're always going to have yourself set up for a downfall, because you're actually going to lose in the construct of everything. And that's why the game is actually so important. And that's why what I want to teach you guys and what I want us to go over is the game, man. I don't want to see you guys out there get walked over by women, used, and everything that's happening to you. All right? I don't want women just to call you up to be a tampon, to sit around and dog you out. And the only reason they're going to dog you out is because they know at the end of the day you're never going to push back, you're never going to fight back, and you're always going to go along to get along, because that's what you're trained to do, especially in the construct of the environment that you're in right now. And every time that you stay silent, and when something is either bothering you or you want to stand up for yourself, what is happening is, because you were taught to stay safe and play it safe, you don't understand that you're actually teaching women that, guess what? You rather look at comfort and you rather look at being silent, that this is who I am. I am not going to stand up for who I am or what I believe in. And when a woman can recognize that from you, she is not going to really be interested in you. She's not at all. And they are never going to respect your patience. What they'll do, unfortunately, is they're going to exploit it. And I don't make the rules of it, just is what it is. And they just don't admire your kindness. They just is something they expect you to be, to give you crumbs of whatever it is. And this is why I was talking to another client, offbeat. I was talking to a client the other day, and he was talking to me about a movie I always tell you to watch, Chasing Bobby Fischer. And I was always telling him that the beautiful thing about that movie, that young kid had two teachers. He had one that did everything the right way, and then Lawrence Fishburne's character was more street savvy and street smart. But where everything came together was because at the end, when he was going against the smartest kid at the end of the chess match, the young boy had to use both combined, the chess smart teacher and the street smart teacher, to combine together to be able to win by not looking at the opponent, not looking at the pieces, but just looking at the board. And why this is so important is because so many of you guys out there don't understand. As long as you're looking at the woman, the body, and you're looking at the pieces, the things you got to maneuver to get sex, you're always going to be run by her board. You're always going to be playing checkers in her world of chess. And this is why a lot of women look at you as a person who can never demand respect. They're always going to take advantage of you, because if you look at back in the day, I won't say colonial times, but back in the day when the British were fighting the colonials, the British did one thing. They used to fight by marching, stopping, preparing, ready, aim, fire, bam, and just sit there and wait. But the colonials decided, no, we're not playing that way. We're moving around and we're going to duck in bushes and all this other stuff. As long as you're playing by safety, what you're doing is you're saying, I'm open for you to walk all over me, for you to disrespect me, and you to just dog me out. And I don't want any of that to happen to you guys, because I believe that you guys are great men, and as you learn the game, you will start to grow. But that is going to be actually the difference between being nice and actually being real. Because at the end of the day, nice, if you think about nice or being a nice guy, and I've always said this, I probably don't want to say this, nice guys are the most disingenuous people in the world, and that's why you have to stop being nice and start being real. Kind of reminds me of the TV show on MTV called The Real World. What do they say? Stop being nice and start being real. I think that's what I think that was the Real World thing, but they are actually right. And for all you guys out there that don't know about MTV, that was before they played, that was after video. So a lot of you kids today, you think MTV and BET were like always TV shows, but no, they used to play music videos until The Real World came out. But anyway, but as I was saying, being a nice guy is absolutely terrible. And I would always tell all you guys out here, never be nice. Being nice is the worst thing you can possibly do when it comes to the game, because being nice is actually not authentic. You're not being an authentic person when you're pretending to be somebody that you're not. And that's what we're talking about. And that's what when women can pick up the fact that you're a nice guy and not a real man, then they will go on the attack and try to use you and try to get over you. And I think it's a bigger problem a lot of guys are going to have if you're not learning the game. Nice is always going to be fake peace. You're faking something. Real is what we will call more of an inner peace. You're more locked into who you are as a man, all right? A lot of guys don't realize that nice is the mask that they always want to wear, and a real man is the person behind everything. Remember, I've always say that the man should be the representation of your king and everything that you are. He must represent you, represent the realm or your empire. And when you're nice and you're not locked into the game, you're going to always say in your world what sounds good. But when you lock in and get this game, you're going to start to say what is true and not care about the ramifications of it. But with that, I'm not saying just walk up to a woman and say, take off your clothes and let me sleep you right now. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that when a woman can recognize you're a person who is nice, that avoids conflict and things like that, versus being a real man who creates clarity in the world of women. See, the reason why a lot of women, if you think about it, a lot of women, why they have foggy pictures of everything is because most guys don't give them clarity on everything. I talked to another client the other day again who, a lot of y'all guys, y'all just hang out with women, talk to women about a bunch of nothing like you're on the Seinfeld commercial, but yet you expect that woman to open her legs to you because you think that just because I'm being nice to her, she knows I want to date her, and that's not true. And that's where so many guys go wrong. They get a wrong idea and a wrong interpretation of actually how things are, because what they're doing is they're trying to cheat the game versus being real and actually giving that woman what we always say, clarity to actually see what's going on. These guys don't do that. They pretend to be something that they're not. And as long as you're pretending something that you're not, you're always going to be the person that is going to get along and be nice, so she can be interested in you, or she can continue texting you and all this other stuff. But the real truth is that a real man is going to tell it like it is and keep it 1,000 with a woman, regardless of the cost. A real man just doesn't care. He just doesn't care. Not at all. Not saying he's not a caring person. It's just that he believes in what he's doing and what he's saying at a point where if you don't believe in what I believe in, that's your right, and I'll move along and find somebody else. Gentlemen, when you don't learn the game, you are always going to realize that you are going to get controlled because you're trying to manage how women actually see you. And through that control, through that movement, a woman is actually going to run you. But when you learn the game, you'll realize the game is all about freedom, okay? I accept that everybody is not going to lock into me. And I accept I'm not going to get every woman. And I accept that some women are going to be down and walk away. And I accept some women are not going to be down and come closer. But regardless of what a woman is saying and regardless of what a woman is doing, I'm not here to worry about what they're doing as long as I focus on me. And that's what real is. That's the beautiful thing about being a man in the game. Once you're real, one thought, one mind, one way. Once you are real in all of this, everything starts to change, okay? Because you have to look at it, because most of you guys out here are always going to think this way. If I say this thing, is it impactful enough for her to like what I'm saying? And that's where so many guys go wrong. We were on a live show the other night, and I always want to teach y'all something. When you try to move along, to get along, or try to say things to get a woman to be interested in you, I want you to do this right now if you get a chance. Wherever you're at right now, like I told the guy live on air, just take a piece of paper and ball it up. Ball up a piece of paper. And what I want you to do is look at any wall in any room that you're in right now. What I want you to do is I want you to throw that paper ball as hard as you can at the wall and try to knock the wall down. To understand that as long as you're trying to get along, you will never make any kind of impact in the woman, okay? And that is why most of you guys always are asking yourself, will she like me if I say this? Will she like me if I do that? And that's where most of you guys go wrong in the game, because it's not about what she likes or what she doesn't like. I really don't care what she likes or she doesn't like. For me, at the end of the day, is that it's not about is she gonna like me. And this, guys, it's gonna sound like some narcissistic shit, but I'm honest. I am never gonna say if I say this, will she like me? No, I'm gonna say if I don't say this, I ain't gonna like myself. Oh my God, man, push my wig back. Listen, I will say it again. If I don't say it, I won't like myself. And I don't even think y'all even understand the depth and range of what I just said. Because many of you guys are, it's like you wanna do harm to yourself. It's like you wanna tear yourself down to be something more than you actually are. And nice is just a fake performance, okay? That's all nice is, and that's the problem with being nice. As long as you're being nice, all you're doing is faking somebody. But when you learn the game, one thought, one mind, one way, what happens is that you'll realize being real is not a performance, gentlemen. It is a beautiful principle. It's a principle of how you move. And that's why I want you guys to understand the game. Because if you don't understand the game, you're going to continue to do the same thing, trying to get a different result, and it's not going to help you. As long as you want to be nice, to try to keep the peace, you're never going to get the woman. But I'm never trying to keep the peace. I'm trying to stand on who I am to actually break it. That's what I'm trying to do, okay? For many of you guys out there, you just want to be polite because that's the world that you're in. You're in a world of safety. And in your world of safety, you've always been taught that, you know what, I've got to be polite. Because as long as I'm polite, everything's going to work out my way. And that's not the truth. It's not going to work out your way as long as you are polite. That's not how the game goes. The way the game goes is that I'm always going to speak in a weird thing. And that weird thing will always be, at the end of the day, alignment. I always want to be aligned with who I am, what I am, and why I am. And that's why alignment is so important. See, when you're nice to a woman, you're kind to a woman, you're saying to her that I'm just trying to seek your approval, okay? But when you keep it a buck and you line up with who you are because you're a student of the game, at the end of the day, you're going to be moved, empowered by self-respect, self-worth, and your self-image. Yeah, and I get it. I know y'all guys like to be comfortable, okay? But in your comfort, you're always miserable because it's always going to end up the same. The woman is not going to be interested in you or anything like that. The woman is not going to like you or anything, man. Oh, man, look, isn't that cool? Wait, wait, look at this. Look at this. Look, isn't that cool? The skeletons. Look at this one right here. Let me see. You see the big one. Look at that shit. Ain't that dope? Look at that. Man, why didn't we have this when we were kids? Look at that. Man, guys, we were robbed as kids, man. Y'all can go in the thing, but look at that. That is dope. But anyway, wow, that's cold, man. Man, wow. We never had anything like that when we were kids. That is fire. Anyway, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I want to keep going, but when you see things like that, you're like, wow, man, that's pretty cool, man. If I see something cool, I want y'all to actually be a part of what I see if it's cool. So allow me to continue, and I apologize for moving off of the subject and everything, but that was pretty cold looking at that yard, man. That's a really dope yard. But anyway, but getting back to what I'm saying, we don't want to look at comfort the way that you guys are looking at comfort and everything, okay? We have to stop trying to sugarcoat, and we've got to stop trying to be what we think the world wants us to be, because I think a lot of people feel like if I am not this person and I don't do this thing, then people are not going to be interested in me. And I get it. From your world of safety, you actually feel like that's going to happen. But the thing is, for many of you guys out there, when you play nice for too long, you are going to be actually hollow on the inside, okay? Sure, from the outside, you're going to be a strong-looking tree with a real exterior foundation of toughness and everything like that. But the problem is that when a woman peels back the layers, she's going to see somebody that's weak. And you cannot fake peace and stay whole. You cannot keep smiling and betraying yourself. At some point, you're going to break. And when you do, guess what? Women are going to dog you out. And that's why I keep telling you, these women are really cutthroat. And they don't mean to be cutthroat sometimes. They just are, depending on the person that they're with. And this is why it's very important that we have to stop being a servant to a woman and start to serve ourselves. Because as long as you are serving yourself, gentlemen, you're going to win in all this. I want you to serve yourself. That's what's important to me. Serve yourself and not the woman. Because as long as you do that, you're actually going to win. At the end of the day, I don't really care about being liked. I just care about being authentic, okay? I know that being this way is going to offend a lot of women, and I know being this way is going to offend a lot of guys, but at the end of the day, my honesty is going to make those that are fragile, fragile, and those uncomfortable, uncomfortable. And I'm fine with that. But one thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to seek harmony. I'm not going to knock in with everybody because everybody wants to sing Kumbaya. I'm going to command and demand who I am, and that is respect. I'm always going to speak clearly. I'm always going to act decisively. And I'm always going to stand firm in everything that I say and everything that I do because I actually believe in myself. I believe in something greater than her opening her legs, and that is me. The question is, why don't you? And that's the thing that bothers me. I don't want to over-explain myself or seek validation. And when a woman crosses the line, guess what? Or, you know what? I don't sit around and ask why you're doing this. I let that person know if this continues, I'm out. I don't play around. Let a woman try to test me and see what happens. I'm not gonna panic if she tries to test me. I'm not gonna get upset if she tries to make me jealous or upset or something so she can find a weakness in me. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm always gonna do everything I can to remind a woman who I am. That is so important to me, okay? And that is what real looks like. You're calm, you're cool, collected, you're grounded, and you're never moving off your square. As I was talking about with the chess thing, your square is like the chess board because all the rules are in the board. No matter who the opponent is, and no matter what pieces you put on that board, those two things have to abide by the laws, rules, and codes of the board. And that's where so many of you guys are going wrong. You think the power's in the piece or the opponent. But no, the power is in who you are as a person, okay? So if you want to stop being that rug, you got to stop living like one. You got to start saying no, and you got to start meaning it, meaning that if I say no to somebody and they don't like what I'm saying, it's not my problem. I don't care. I don't care what someone says. You know, who I am as a man, one thought, one mind, one way, will never be up for negotiation, okay? The time that I have, okay, the time that I have is mine. And I know it's gonna sound again some narcissistic shit. I know it's gonna sound like some narcissistic shit. But at the end of the day, any time that I give is I'm donating it, and I'm not gonna waste it. Respect has got to be earned through my approval, but it is also going to be about my honesty. I'm going to be honest with that person. I'm not going to sit around and play games with that person. And I want to make sure at the end of the day, as long as y'all guys are locked into what I'm saying, you are actually going to win, okay? And I get it, guys, real quick. I get it. You're going to feel uncomfortable at first, okay? And that uncomfortable feeling real quick, and why you've got to recognize the uncomfortable feeling is the world that you used to be in is doing everything it can to pull you back in. Listen to what I'm saying real quick. Whenever you start to do something to go into the unknown, what is known is going to do everything it can to bring you back in. And that's why we have to be careful, okay? We have to don't allow old feelings of comfort to come back in, okay? When you set the boundaries, you are going to filter out the women that deserve you and those who don't. That's it. No ifs, ands, buts, or maybes. And when you start living real for yourself, you are going to stop chasing her approval, and you're going to stop chasing what's between her legs, and you're going to become something much deeper. And that's part of the diamond dick, and that's what I'm saying to all you guys out there. So sorry for going too long. Sometimes things like this are important for me to share with you young men. But even though this is the end of our video, this is not going to be the end of our discussion. Gentlemen, let me know what you think in the comments. And guys, I do appreciate you guys. And again, please understand, guys, this is not for the bitter, the angry, or the effeminate guy. So this isn't for you. Don't listen. Don't waste your time here. But I say for all you guys out there, I do appreciate you guys out here. And thank you very much for subscribing and sharing. And always remember, guys, if you want to get at me at themandmindset@gmail.com, or go to our website and check it out. And remember, we're always going live, guys. We're always going live. Spin Game Live off the top of the dome, 4 hours, where I can help you the best way I can. But if you enjoyed this video, guys, I promise you're going to really love the video that you see right here. So if you get the opportunity to check it out, please click on it and check it out. And guys, we'll definitely talk to you soon. Thank you.